Most men think that women choose men solely based on their looks or money. They don't. Women don't always pick the best man. They pick the man who triggers the deepest signals inside them. Instinct, emotion, unconscious trust. She might smile, she might flirt, but that doesn't mean you're chosen, because attraction isn't the same as selection, and attention isn't the same as commitment. Women watch in silence. They test without warning, and they make decisions long before they ever tell you. That's why you've been ghosted after a perfect date, why she lost interest even when you were doing everything right. It's not because you weren't enough. It's because you didn't know what her instincts were really scanning for. This video is about what truly makes a woman choose. Not what she says she wants, but what her biology, her emotion, and her subconscious mind respond to. If you're tired of guessing, if you want to stop being the guy she enjoys and start being the one she commits to, stay until the end. Because once you understand the 5 silent rules of female selection, you won't just attract women. You'll attract the right kind. The kind that respects you, desires you, and chooses you without hesitation. Not because you begged for it, but because you became the man who no longer has to. Rule 1. Women choose men who make them feel safe to surrender, not safe to control. The average man thinks women want emotional safety, but most men confuse that with softness. In reality, she doesn't want a therapist. She wants a leader. A man calm in chaos, sharp under stress, silent under pressure. Because that kind of man doesn't collapse when tested. He remains still, focused, grounded. And that stillness, that self-possession, makes her feel safe to relax into her feminine energy. In The Prince, Machiavelli writes, "It is better to be impetuous than cautious, because fortune is a woman." What does that mean? That feminine energy surrenders not to predictability, but to grounded dominance. The woman is fortune, and fortune surrenders to those who move with boldness, clarity, and strength. If you're single, picture this. You're at a gathering. She's observing you for the first time. You're not loud. You're not chasing her approval. You're talking calmly, listening with focus, walking like a man with direction. Other guys are trying to impress. But you're unbothered. She can feel that. She may not even know why, but she's already intrigued. If you're in a relationship, she brings up an issue. Let's say your ex. Maybe she's emotional, unstable, or even accusing. If you get reactive, defending, justifying, explaining too much, she loses trust in your leadership. But if you hold the frame, breathe deep, and listen without breaking. She might cry, she might yell, but inside she feels anchored. She's testing to see if you can handle her without losing yourself. In addition, train your nervous system. The most powerful men aren't reactive, they're responsive. When emotions rise, slow your breath, control your body, and speak less. Let your presence say what your words don't need to. Why? Because a woman doesn't fall for a man who pleases her emotions. She falls for the one who doesn't drown in them. As Machiavelli might say, you cannot control the storm, but you can learn to stand still in the middle of it. Rule 2. Women choose men who keep them curious. Machiavelli didn't believe in brute force. He believed in control through perception. He believed that appearances often matter more than truth, because people act on what they believe, not on what is. The same goes for attraction. Women don't fall in love with what they understand. They fall in love with what they wonder about. The more predictable you are, the less powerful you become in her mind. But the more she has to guess your thoughts, your intentions, your next move, the more her imagination bonds to you. If you're single, you meet her for the first time. You're not over-excited. You talk with pauses. You listen more than you speak. You disappear without warning, not out of disrespect, but out of focus. You don't chase her with texts. You let the tension grow. Now she's asking, where is he? What's on his mind? Who's he with? You've become a question she wants to solve. And that's powerful. If you're in a relationship, you don't feel the need to report everything as if you were talking to your superior. You set time aside for your goals. You don't share every single emotion like a diary. You keep a sacred part of yourself untouchable. She knows you care, but she also feels the edge of your independence. And in that edge, she stays engaged. But that's not all. Don't let her know everything. Let her feel everything. Attraction isn't built on clarity. It's built on tension. Let her wonder what you're thinking, where your attention is, what you'll do next, and never explain your value. Let her discover it piece by piece. You don't have to talk about who you are. Let your behavior create the myth. Rule 3. Women choose men who are desired by others. Machiavelli believed power wasn't just what you hold, it's how others see you. And women don't choose men in a vacuum. They choose based on what the world reflects back about you. If you're invisible to others, you become invisible to her. But if people respect you, talk about you, admire you, something shifts in her psychology. Suddenly, you're not just a man, you're a prize. If you're single, you enter a new room. You don't seek validation, but people acknowledge your presence. You speak with weight. Others react. You're not trying to prove anything, but you're clearly someone of value. Maybe another woman compliments you. Maybe you walk with confidence and purpose. She sees it. She senses that other women would want you, and that alone changes how she sees you. She now views your attention as something that means something. If you're in a relationship, you don't let the relationship turn you soft, especially if you have been together for several years. You keep leveling up physically, socially, mentally. You're still respected outside the relationship. Other women might glance at you. Friends still seek your advice. You're not flaunting anything. You're just not shrinking either. And deep down, she feels it. She's lucky to have you, and she needs to keep earning your presence. Let me give you a few more. Build quiet power. Grow your reputation, your body, your purpose. Not to chase admiration, but to create gravity. Because a man who others respect doesn't need to ask for attention. Attention finds him. As Machiavelli would say, it is better to be feared than loved if one cannot be both. In relationships, that means be admired first. Let love follow. Rule 4. Women choose men who lead emotionally. Machiavelli taught that real power isn't in shouting orders. It's in setting the tone so others adjust to you without realizing it. In love, that power is emotional leadership. Because whether she admits it or not, a woman is watching to see one thing. Can you stay solid when emotions get loud? Can you stay grounded when she's spiraling? Because the man who becomes her emotional anchor becomes her only option. If you're single, she's playful one day, distant the next, testing your balance. Most men chase harder when she pulls back. They mirror her vibe. But you don't change your pace. You stay calm, focused, amused. You flirt without need. You don't explain your energy. You lead hers. And suddenly she's following your mood without even realizing it. If you're in a relationship, imagine this. She starts an argument when you have dinner. Emotional, chaotic, loud. You don't raise your voice. You don't collapse into silence. You stay centered. You pause. You hold the frame. And through your calm, she feels safer. Not because you agreed, but because you didn't let the storm move you. Here are some more. When her emotions rise, don't match them. Model what peace looks like. Machiavelli warned, the wise man does at once what the fool does finally. When chaos comes, don't wait for calm. Be the calm she submits to. Because women don't choose the loudest man, they choose the one who quietly rules the mood. Rule 5. Women choose men who aren't afraid to walk away. Machiavelli knew that the strongest ruler is the one who doesn't need the crown. Because power never belongs to the most agreeable man. It belongs to the man who's willing to lose anything except himself. In love, it's the same. A woman might love your loyalty, but she'll only respect your limits. And she's always watching to see if you'll betray those limits, just to keep her close. If you're single, she's inconsistent. One day hot, the next cold. She flakes. She tests your patience. Most men over-explain. They try harder. They become predictable. But you disappear with no drama, no revenge, no speech. And suddenly she realizes you're not like the rest. You're not chasing her. You're chasing truth. If you're in a relationship, picture this. You've set the standard at home. You've been clear. She disrespects it again. You don't raise your voice. You don't prove your pain. You simply pull back your presence. And this time it doesn't come back. No man is more feared than the one who walks away without fear. Here's another strategy. Detach your identity from her affection. Don't make her the prize. Make your peace the priority. If she violates your boundaries repeatedly, don't argue. Exit the situation, not out of hate, but out of self-loathe. As Machiavelli would say, if being loved requires you to self-abandon, then being feared is the only honorable path. Because the man she can't control is the man she never forgets. If you found yourself here, you've already done what most men refuse to do. You've looked in the mirror and told yourself the truth. You've stepped out of your comfort zone and into something real. What I'm about to say will leave a mark on you, one you won't forget. A womb.